looked a little bit funny there. I apologize for that, fam bam. So what's up, fam bam? What's up, guys? Welcome into the chat. Hopefully you guys have had a great weekend by far. Hopefully your your hump day is a happy hump day. It's happy morning or good evening to everybody that is out there. And we do have some things that we are looking forward to, such as the 9950X3D2. The 9950X3D2 is supposed to debut in April of 22nd. And if you haven't seen the pricing of it, it is quite expensive, especially for a CPU. Now, they dropped it around $899 MSRP. Now, of course, it can even go up higher because it's still set to go to more of the retail side of things. So, yes, yeah, it's going to be at least $1,000. So Tech Notes is right there. It's going to be at the minimum of $1,000. Now they do call it the dual edition, so it's going to be probably one of those type of processors that they will release, but I think it's going to be more of a limited quantity. And I do have some numbers that I do want to share with you, fam bam, especially for those who are curious. What's up, Z-Man? RAM dropping due to that AI RAM fiasco. Certainly. I think that is certainly happening. You know, I went to go check out the charts, and I'm definitely going to share it with you, fam bam, about how it's looking when it comes to RAM. I know there's a lot of worrying about the pricing of RAM. Now, the real question is, when is NAND going to start dropping in price? 890, yes. $899 MSRP for the AMD Ryzen 9950X3D2. It's going to have dual V cache, so it has, I believe, up to 203 megabytes of L3 cache. So if you are looking for a true, like, creative type of processor, that would probably be a decent one. What I'm really curious about is to see how responsive it's going to be, especially when you give it day-to-day tasks, such as browsing on the internet, or if you're just using it for some sort of just regular word processing. Because the main reason is the Vcache can be a bit slower compared to regular cache, and that's why they had one CCD, really, one CCD that was Vcache, and you had the one that was non Vcache, so that way it can be able to do your everyday tasks with no issues. What's up? What's up, friend? What's up, Fred Donda? Tommy, what's up? I got the 9950X3D. I'm already good at hitting 5.9 gigahertz with 8,000 megahertz. You know, I gotta say there is a silver lining on that, because when it comes to the 9950X3D, that the prices, you'll notice, will start to tilt. Will start to actually start dropping. So you can actually get some decent bundles right now with the 9950X3D that Micro Center currently does have today. So what's up, Havy? Great to see you. So how many cores? Well, let me just show you. I just want to give you an idea of how it looks like here. So I'm just going to switch over here, and I want to share it with everybody. I gotta adjust the camera. It's still facing that PC behind me, so just give me a moment to adjust the camera, and that way you can see me a bit better. I know it keeps probably putting me into like a blurry situation here. So, Chris, I'm on your Discord, so yeah, sure, feel free. I definitely appreciate it. So I'm going to share with everybody right now that they did leak some numbers here. So the numbers that they ended up leaking here are going to be the 9950X3D2. So if you are curious, now here's the funny part, that they actually ran this processor on a AMD Wrath cooler. Now, if you guys aren't familiar, with the Wrath cooler, that's practically their stock cooler. Their stock, pretty much traditional CPU fan type of cooler. And they actually threw that on the 9950X3D. Now, I'm not sure if they were trying to quite prove a point when they did this, but let me show you the numbers here. So TechNote says, honestly, this is my take. I don't think you can expect much performance because of the latency issues with both CCDs are communicating. I agree. I feel the same exact way. I think it's kind of like overhyped, but I hope that AMD does prove us wrong. Oh, hey, that's a lot of hard work. I bet it took them quite a bit of time to do that. I have the 9950X3D also. Was interested in the 9950X3D too. And it looks like, but from what I hear, it will still deal with core parking. Could be wrong. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers here as we take a look here. Now, for those who are curious about the numbers, the very first one I am going to show you is 7-zip. Now, 7-zip isn't nothing too crazy. It's not like this crazy true test of it's like a standard benchmark for a lot of processors out there just to see how well it handles it. So they did give it a rating of 227,919. Now, of course, it's still the 60-core processor. That's 32 threads. Somebody asked that a bit earlier. Sorry I missed that, but that's what they. Oh, I apologize for the poll up there as I left that from the last time. Let me see. I'll shut off the poll real quick, but I will definitely poll you guys a bit later if you guys want a poll. So I can't get mine's over 9,800 to go over 4.7. And when did you get the CPU? I don't have it yet. I'm working on it. I am certainly getting and working on the CPU. I actually have to send out an email, see if I can get. I'm going to contact a couple people, see if I can manage to get the CPU, whether I can get a sample of it or whether I have to pay for it. Doesn't matter. It seems because earlier in the week, if you guys are not familiar, there is a build that's coming up. It's sitting over there somewhere, which is the ASRock B850 motherboard. And I kind of put up a poll out there. Not really kind of, but I did put up a poll out there on stream. And I also put up a poll on the channel for everyone to vote on which type of processor to use. Now, it is a AM5 motherboard, and it seems that the majority has voted for the 9950X3D2. So that's what we will end up pairing with for this PC build. And of course, there is going to be a lot more to come. So, yes, it's quite interesting. I don't know why, but there's definitely quite the demand and interest in it on the 9950X3D2 on the ASRock motherboard here. So, let me pull back over real quick over to the numbers here, because it's running on 32 gigabytes of DDR5 and it's also the 16 gigabytes. Let me see. So it's CL30 that it's running on. I'm assuming 3000 megahertz. Yeah, CL30. Figured that. So they're trying to run it at to the maximum potential. Now the GPU is running on 7900 XTX. Now this is on a B850A gaming Wi-Fi, so it's not a crazy expensive motherboard. And it also is based on Windows 11 25H2, so it's based on the newer model. And here goes the next one here. It gets a bit more interesting once we enter to the whole Cinebench. Yes, I agree. No, it's no problem. Yes, absolutely. The price tag is absolutely hefty for this thing. So, 100. Oh, wow. It took a week to tune. Hey, that's dedication, Tommy. True dedication out there. So those are our current settings using the X870E Strix E. Impressive. A great motherboard, by the way. So Jay Rodriguez says, dang, nice. I'm on the 200 plus scaler I love these settings. Now, if anyone has a 9950X3D, feel free to try it, but take your time doing so. Sure thing. So this is the number that we're getting out of Cinebench R23 specifically. The newer models, if you notice on R26, they have a new score system. So I guess they wanted to go to a score system that everybody's a bit more familiar with. So they went to R23. So it got a score of, received a score of 38,579 points on a multi-core processor. But take a closer look at this. It's pretty funny because the reason why it is, take a look at that temperature right there. Look how the maximum temperature it should reach is about 95 degrees, right? That's the maximum you could really go when it comes to AMD processors. because specifically on the 9950X3D, it can take a bit more wattage, but it's going to pretty much get really hot. And it reached up to 95 degrees, I believe. It looks like, yes. So it reached the maximum level of temperatures on the Wrath Prism cooler. So there isn't like really much changes when it comes from the cooling. It looks like it still runs pretty hot. And it's running on 1.23 volts on the actual SoC. And it seems that the effective clock's about 4.8 gigahertz. So again, the number 38,579 points. Now, anybody out there that has a 9950X3D, please let me know the score that you've received on Cinebench R23. Honestly, I feel this score is pretty much close to the when I had the 7950 X, the standard 7950X. The 7950X3D scored a bit lower from what I remember. But for anybody that has a 9950X3D or a 9950X, please let me know what type of score that you ended up pulling here. So, Fred, Fred Doan to RDX. Okay, Fred Doan though. But it's probably easier if I call you Fred, right? I'll just call you Fred. All right, guys, I'll be back in 30 minutes. Oh yeah, I'll still be on. So, what exactly is your prediction of the RAM prices? I think more than likely we're going to. Okay, now this is going to be quite the explanation here. I think, and I like Jay Rodriguez. I'm just going to highlight it for anybody that is curious about the type of numbers that people are pulling out of Cinebench here. And this is on multi-core process. So, okay. Now, to get back onto the whole RAM subject, and for those who are curious about the pricing, obviously for a 6,000 megahertz kit, that's like CL32 to CL36, you're going to easily spend roughly about $350 to $360. Now, if you go even lower in latency, you're obviously going to pay a bit more of the premium, which is going to be closer to about $425 from what it seems like it was averaging. Now, the prices, if you really pay close attention to the pricing that is as of now, this pricing actually has held since January. So we're actually into the 4th month of this whole stagnation. That's what's technically going on. I kind of made a video pretty much based on this and why stagnation isn't such a great idea or a great thing that does happen. And the reason being is because this is almost setting a new precedence. It's starting a whole new phase when it comes to buying hardware. It's going to become a bit more standard if stagnation continues. Now here's the part where it can truly drop. Now, you have indications where you're getting a bit more rejection from investors. Investors are not willing to spend more money into AI. They're not seeing the progress. Sure, they're desperate to make as much money as they can off of AI. They're trying to find, it's almost like the whole gold rush when that happened. They're all trying to find that piece of gold that's worth the most money. But yet, none of the investors out there has really truly found that quite yet. So they're starting to get a bit more low confidence in this and that they're not willing to spend as much into AI. Now, without investments such as OpenAI, they're not going to spend as much as they once did. They're spending as much as they are right now. They're more in the negative net worth as it is now when it comes to this, or negative, what's the right word? Or in the negative when it comes to the balance sheet, I should say. And because of that, this could be the start and the indication of that there's going to be less wafers pretty much sold to these AI companies. Because of that, then this is why the prices could possibly drop. Because then there's actually going to be a decent surplus if that is the case, if the orders are not fulfilled. And that's going to be the key component to all of this. So if you start to see more of these AI companies that are starting to kind of fade into the background as more and more develop as on their own, as you'll see a lot more of that, then it can certainly change. And the second part of it is that because Google figured out a way to become much more efficient when it comes to using RAM in their servers, and also much more efficient when they are generating with AI, that is also causing less wafers being used as well. So, of course, over time, there's going to be efficiency that also plays a part of it as well. So, there's really a lot to it, but those two I can pretty much highlight in a short form basis of what possibly could happen. Hopefully, that is pretty much a clear explanation. I know that was a lot. Hopefully, I didn't bore you guys with that whole explanation there. So, I will run Cinebench R23 now. Awesome. Please do. Synthetic benchmarks are not worth the time. Real world tasks are required. So Squeeze says you have something on Discord here. So let's see what Squeeze has here. Let's see if I can share it with you guys, which is a cracked wheel. What's the point of the cracked wheel? There you go. But I'll share it with you guys anyway, just because he wants to share this with you, with you guys. Pretty interesting stuff here. Right here. He wants to show you his cracked wheel that he has managed. While I show you guys his cracked wheel here, I can adjust the camera. What's up, Ernesto? Great to see you. Awesome to see you. Yes, and Ellis. Great to see you. What about this helium shortage in RAM production? Questionable. I feel like that's more rumor based. I don't think that's going to be truly 100% the case here. More efficiency is more power and more RAM. Well, not necessarily when it comes to it. It should be, if it's more efficient here, then they won't need as much. That means it's even optimized a bit more, if that's the case. But I see what you're saying. Of course, more power and more RAM can equal out to more efficiency in that sense, but there's also how you optimize the AI as well. Like, yeah, no, of course not. Yes, it is. I have been doing this for 20. Yes, it is. Again, I have been doing this for over 20 years. The helium? Have you been doing the helium for 20 years? Or is it or have you been, RAM is not dropping in price? It's been stagnating. I actually went through quite the lengthy explanation why it possibly could happen. But here, let me go ahead and adjust my camera here as we go back to the benchmarks here. Another thing I do want to share with you guys is going to be the single core benchmark, which is this one's 2026, which is the newer benchmark actually. So if you guys are curious about that, they score it at kind of like at lower points here, but it gives you the idea of where it is. It's scored at 9,246. They give you an idea. When we benched the 270K, it's probably roughly, I think it's pretty close to those numbers. I got to check the spreadsheet again just to make sure. So, oh, it looks like something I did with what, Wasabi? Great to see you there. So, I've been working in what your auto regression function approximators. So, I've been 9 minutes left on multi-core. Awesome. What's up, everyone? How is everyone? So far, I'm doing great in the middle. I hope everybody's doing great. Great to see you guys. Wasabi, Ernesto. And of course, you got to thank Squeeze for coming in, showing his cracked wheel. So my $80 RAM was going for $420 last month. In the last 3 days, it's $448. Okay, so we definitely got to check that out. We will check out the numbers of how it's looking currently at the market, and we'll get a decent idea. Not soon. So this will end up dropping on the 22nd, the 9950 X3D2. Tomorrow I'll start trying to pull and try to get numbers based on it, or try to manage to obtain it and secure it this time. Not like the 270K, but at least we got the 270K in hand to be able to mess with. Team group, team T creates expert 48 gigabytes, DDR5 6400 megahertz, CL32 for 480. That's honestly not bad. Technically, that's really not bad because 32 gigabytes should run you closer to about like that whole, let me see, roughly about like $390. Help me with my weights in my. So the Son of Anton debacle in Silicon Valley is a great depiction. Oh yeah, I heard that's a great show, by the way. So your price is $700. No, for the 99 for the 99, or are you talking about street price for the RAM? $700. Yes, we will definitely take a look at that in a bit. So this one, take a look at this Cinebench score here. This is quite interesting. If you look at this Cinebench score here, it reached as high as 96 degrees. So it actually it started thermal throttling there for sure, at least. So I actually hit 96 degrees. I'm a bit more curious to see if they had some decent cooling. If they had some sufficient cooling, would this score be a bit higher? Because again, all these tests were pretty much run on a Wrath Prism cooler. So I have a couple 9950 XRDs with different motherboards, but I have Linux running on most of them. I see. They don't have Cinebench on Linux, do they? Street price is $700. So we're about to find out. That we will find out soon. Next, I'm going to show you is the single core test here. So for the single core test, it was able to pull right here 746 points. And now at the AMD Ryzen, again, 9950X 3D2, 16 cores, 32 threads, has the dual V cache. This actually reached a temperature of 76 degrees. So again, it's just still pretty high. It's funny because when I first saw this, I originally thought it was for just the multi-cores, but then I realized, oh wait, this isn't just a multi-cores, but the craziest one is the temperatures of the multiple threads here, where it hit 36 degrees Celsius. So should we can't derive an ought from is it logically RAM is too much or price fixing ought to be prosecuted? Yes. You think they're just price fixing it at this point? The one I am testing is ASRock B850M Riptide Wi-Fi 9950X3D 6000 megahertz team group memory. Awesome. Yeah, I'm curious how everyone how much did the points did this 270K have? I'll actually pull it up right now. I will pull it up on my spreadsheet and I will tell you. Let's see. For those who entered the stream last week, they might remember the number. But I actually did it one stream. And then I did it without the stream as well. But let me pull it up, see what I have. And hang on, guys. Just going and looking for it. Okay, there we go. Here's all the numbers. Okay, so this was specifically on Cinebench R26. So Cinebench R26 single reached at 583 points, and for multi-core, 9,426. So actually beat out it's again a $300 processor to actually beat out the Ryzen 9950X3D2, which is pretty wild. But then again, you have an AIO on this compared to a Wrath Prism cooler that's on there now. So that's probably thermal throttled here. It would have had to, especially hitting 96 degrees. So I bet it got too hot, and then it probably ended up throttling there. So how is this silicon binned? We'll find out. I can't say. It should be one of their better silicon bins because when it comes to their X3D chips, especially their 9950 X3D, they usually have an SP score that's actually higher, like in around the hundreds, 110. That's how they typically score. So the entire back internet is Linux. At this point, people should just run Linux. The issue is no one in the community knows how to dev distro for 196 L3 cache compared to 120 meg. And yes, that's the biggest change. I think altogether they were really pushing out, like saying you can really get up to like 203 if you wanted to. Maybe applications like Pro Tools and Adobe. So the 9950 X3D, two 64GB CDR5, 3R9700 Pro 8 iGPUs, Seasonic Noctua, 1600 watts PSU. What's in my my Elmo interference machine? I'll be building this. Oh, really? That's going to be quite the project. That's going to be a fun project. So you're definitely going to have a local LLM you can take full advantage of. If you download it from the past days, download what from the past days? Let me see. CPU Z and HW monitor, popular tools by CPU ID had their main. Yes, and yes, that had happened over the past weekend. So if anybody has downloaded anything from them from CPU Z, like hardware monitor, any of those two tools, be wary because it's a DLL file in there. It's called like crypto something, like crypto.dll. We looked over that file, and that's was the one that was really sticking out. That was actually the malicious file. Everything else was pretty much normal. It was just that single DLL file that was in there. So, bro, Intel really did well with the 270K, not expensive. Now we have productivity entry, but very high performance. Absolutely. I think Intel 270K is well underrated. I'm surprised there isn't more people raving about it. I gotta say, it was quite a impressive processor. And actually, this weekend, I'll actually post out publicly what numbers that were pulled on 270K on both synthetic and gaming benchmarks, especially for those who are really curious about it. And I mean, I ran it hard. If you guys are not familiar with the system, it's based on a 5070 Ti with a Gigabyte Wars Master that's a Z890 with a 270K plus. So you can check out the build video. It's out there. It's public. I released it last week about roughly, and soon this Sunday I will release the full out benchmarks and describe everything about it from the actual synthetic benchmarks, game benchmarks, about power limits, and the also about the temperatures on it as well. I know. Can you imagine if they actually dropped the 290K? That would definitely be a killer right there. 13th and 14th gen reputation damage did its numbers. You think it really started messing up their reputation when it came to Intel here? So Fred says Intel has really fallen off the map. For me, I've tried a few times. Intel builds to see if it changed my mind, but those damn AMD builds. Now, here's yeah, it was absolutely an insane build. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. But I do have to say the only negative side when it comes to Intel processors, if anybody is thinking of doing Intel build, still runs really awesome. Like for any type of, especially if you're just using it for gaming, uh, most people out there will certainly be happy with it. Of course, if you want top-notch performance out of a Intel processor, I usually recommend to use much more faster RAM kits. Now, to get the true capability of the combination of the Intel processor and the GPU itself, it's good to get like over 8,000 megahertz of RAM speed. And as you know, it's really expensive as it is now to get that type of speed of RAM, one RAM, because that's like one of the top ones that you can get for DDR5. Even the next generation of RAM, DDR6 is going to be pushing over 10,000 megahertz. And that'll be like more of the standard then. But used Intel for 30 years. Wow, really? That's crazy. Yeah, so that really, You know, the funny thing is, I know a couple people that still use Raptor Lake Refresh. They're still happy with it. Hopefully, it'll last them a lot longer than we think. It's I like Phoenix Core saying, stating his opinion out there. Used Intel for 30 years exclusively before then. Yeah, a lot of people that don't really, not a big fan of Intel from what it seems like. Intel lost my trust. You know when that really happened, when people started losing trust in Intel, was when they started. It started from really the ninth gen, because the ninth gen was like their last decent processor, and then once they hit the 10th gen, it was pretty much like a copy and paste. And at the time, I remember they were picking on AMD because they said that they would glue their CPUs pretty much all together here. But then it turned out Intel was actually doing it. They took apart the CPU and there was the glue. So it was practically like a 9000 for them. It was the 9000 series, or yeah, the 9000 series chipset. The ninth generation was pretty much similar to the 10th. Well, the 10th generation was just like the ninth generation, but it was actually performed worse, which was really weird. And then from there, that's when they tried to really change it up and make a comeback then. So it's like how I lost AMD. Yeah, the FX line was rough. A 7200 megahertz where I live is like, I don't know, $800 maybe for 30. Yeah, that we have to look. We're gonna look on Micro Center actually. Let's take a look. Let's go on Micro Center. Because here we're going to check out the prices live. It's been a bit since we checked it out to see if there has been any changing in pricing. Hopefully that there is. What disgusted me was the pricing as what we see here, a 990 EVO plus 2 terabytes. You see how expensive it is? Let me just show you guys. The 990 EVO plus 2 terabyte Gen 4 is $500. You have a limit of purchasing 2 of them. That is unheard of. 2 terabytes. So that's roughly about $250 per terabyte. That is nasty. So the 10th and 11th gen were bad. Absolutely. Absolutely. Jerry's right here. 12th was the last full generation. I agree. That was like, actually, I thought the 12th generation, when they released Alder Lake, I had a bit more faith, because then they introduced PCI Express 5 and DDR5, and I thought maybe that they were going to step up their game. Hidden Bull says 42,089. Nice. That's a really nice number. That definitely beats out the 79, even the 7950X it beats out. And that's on a X3D processor. Then 13th gen wasn't worth getting over the 12th gen. Yeah. And that was the problem here. I had this set 8,000 megahertz and running at 6,000 to 6,400 because the CPU didn't want to run 8,000. On the processor that you have now, claiming my over 20 years of experience firsthand, his opinion is may you get what you think, what you desire. OMG. That's expensive. G-Skills Trident Z and Neo series. DDR4 RAM 64 gigabytes was going for $1,200 a few days ago. Now, oh wow, now it's 13. So so it seems like the claims that it's actually been pushing up. Yeah, well, the 12th gen still a really good processor. You could actually get a decent deal on it. The 12th gen you can still get it at 12. Let's take a look. 12900K. I'm pretty sure they have like decent deals for it. They only have a PC for it now. But for a while, they were just trying to pretty much like get rid of a lot of their stock at the time. They were trying to get rid of it. Let me adjust my camera here, guys. My legs are a bit sore from working out legs. Let's see. Hopefully that will be a lot better there. Yes, that's much better. That is much better. Okay. SSDs are a lost cause, absolutely. 8 terabytes is getting close to. Really? It's that bad. I can imagine it. You get now you piqued my curiosity here. Let's go take a look at 8 terabytes here. I run a 12th gen in my 9070 XT. Yeah, it's a great CPU. The Alder Lake was one of the more respectable ones. Well, let me go take a look at this. Let's look at 8 terabytes. Wow, they have the Corsair MP600s. That's actually a decent deal. $989 is actually a decent deal for 8 terabytes now, which is pretty wild to say. But you take a look down here for the PS2 one. I mean, not PS2. The PS, it's made for PS5, is the PCI Express Gen 4 with the heatsink is $2,000. So it's about $2,000 for that NVMe. I'm watching the stream on the 12th gen Asus VivoBook. It was worth more than $600. It was only worth $600, just like the memory and worth. You know what the funny thing is? Like a lot of these, I notice a lot of the not auction places, but a lot of these pawn shops. They've been buying out laptops like super cheap. So even though they know it has a lot of memory, they'll buy these laptops like cheap, like $200-300. And most of the time, like if you had like a say like you had a Asus ProArt laptop and you had some decent RAM, make sure you know what you have because they're just plainly ripping people off, which is pretty wild. It was 990 Pro. Oh, really? But still, that $2,000 is a lot. That exceeds the 5080 even. 50 this would be like the 5080 Astral for that price. A little less than the Astral. I'm gonna build a whole PC right there. Let's look up here. Let's take a look at RAM. Now I'm curious about the whole RAM side. Let's see if there has been some changes in RAM. Okay, so we're gonna go here. And why is it showing only this? USB flash memory, computer memory. Are they just not selling it? What? This can't be right. I'm gonna have to manually type it in at this point. This is under top deals, that's why. So let's go back here. One upper mid-range PC built for a stick of 8 terabytes of gum. It's true. So, okay, let's try this again. We're going to go PCs. We're going to go to memory and see what we can find. Let's see if we can get a decent deal for it. Because I know a lot of you out there that are trying to do a PC build, you're trying to find some decent memory. Let's see if we can find it. I have Cinebench 2026 loaded on the 9950X3D. Oh yeah, that little mini PC had Windows Pro installed on it and $150. It's great for watching YouTube. Oh, nice. Yeah, it's almost to that point. It really is. Like you would never think it would get to that point. So, okay, so this is decent actually. Take a look at this. Corsair Vengeance RGB 32 gigabytes is CL30 for $370. So that's actually a really decent deal for that RAM kit. It's getting better. It's improving. Of course, it's not nowhere cheap as it was last year, back in September of last year, but definitely much better than $425 or more dollars. And this is, again, for CL30, so this is more of normal latency here. And you know what the crazy thing is? I'm sure everybody remembers when the pricing, when CL26 first like really came out, CL26, CL28, and they actually had, you could get them for decent deals. Even this RAM kit here, 64 gigabytes, is still pretty expensive. It's $1,000 for 64 gigabytes. Makes no sense. You might as well buy two kits right here. I'm sure there's a limit of purchasing them. So the 9950X Plane version got higher than the 90. Usually it does. 42,700. Yeah, because the reason being is because the 9950X is more for workloads. And that's why I always theorized it would probably be worse in performance if it has dual V cache. So that's why I was curious about that. We'll be back. Have to test out the Wi-Fi 7 antenna and its internet speeds and don't want your beautiful... Okay, I gotcha. Makes sense. Your Micro Center has one of the last 48 gigabyte kits. Oh, really? SKU 70. Okay, let me find it. 70. Let's see if it comes up here. Yes, it does. $479. That's actually decent. CL32, $479. This would actually go really nice in a PC builder right here. Again, it's only $479 for 48 gigabytes. That's pretty fair. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna have to stop by there in roughly about 7 days. 20 seconds in 7 days, about right. Let me see. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go there to pick up stuff then. You better reserve now. You think I should reserve it? The last three are in Yonkers, Flushing, and Brooklyn. Oh, really? That's kind of all over the place in New York. Okay, let's go to reserve now. Go ahead and hit that reserve button. Oh, nice. Congratulations, Hidden Bull. Place your order. Oh. There we go. Let me go over here and do it. Thank you, Tony. I really appreciate you sharing it. I'll be right back. In fact, I'll go right here while I do this, actually. And reserve. Do you think they'll hold it that long? They'll hold it until the weekend, at least. We'll be ready by 7:48. There we go. Yeah, a few days. Okay. Perfect. Okay, there we go. And yeah, thinking I'm all good. All set for it now. I am all set for it. It's funny, I got everything still sitting in the cart. And you know, I still been really keeping an eye on trying to keep on this 9950 extra D if I could reserve it here. The 9950 extra D2, because I remember when they first came out, the 9800 extra D, you were able to actually reserve it. But now they don't do that anymore. It seems like they completely stopped doing that for some reason. So I guess the biggest deal that they have is you can get the processor, you can get the 9950 extra D for $650. Yes, I did. I think they're going to be quite incredible. Seeing those numbers are quite mind-boggling, I gotta say. Which I will definitely share with you guys. I'm trying to help people in some forums, what they're trying to spend a lot of money with their research and just trying to get a lot of advice from. Advice about which thing? You Goro, let me know. Steve, what's up? Great to see you. It's a great quality kit that has overclocked to 7200. Plus, if you tweak it right, it's a very versatile and Hynix end die. Awesome. Perfect. I bought 3 kits at the same RAM and really? Oh, really? So they were different from Hynix. So you had SK Hynix, Samsung, and Micron? That's pretty wild. And this is all from Team Group. So if anybody has a Micro Center near you, make sure to check out the 48 gigabyte kit. They do have it's pretty awesome. Awesome deal. It's $460 for CL32. And I'll put that. Let me look it up again. Get that SKU again. 70. 5772. So if anybody is looking for RAM and you have a Micro Center near you, I don't know why it says one in Saga after I reserved it. Hopefully they don't give mines away. So anyway, you can get up to 6400 megahertz CL32, $480. As you know, the 64 gigabyte kits are even more expensive now. It's $1,000. This is non-ECC. This says this is for XMP. Voltage goes up to 1. Well, let's see. Besides this stuff, doesn't give you the information about the die. They usually don't. I'm curious what the comments say here. Doesn't say. It was able to run Bullzoids of 6400 1-to-1 timings. First try, no problem. Oh, nice. Huh. Sounds promising. Definitely promising. So remember, the street price for these are $700. Absolutely. It's much more expensive than it is, but there is indications that RAM is, it has been starting to drop in price here, which I'll show you guys. If you take a look on the memory side, it's actually priced pretty fairly now. The remaining white ones is SKU 705, 780 for the 3 New York stores. Have I seen the MLG edition from MSI? I have not. Please post up the link if you can. If you can post up the link, that'd be great. Or send it through Discord. That way we can take a look at it together. But I've been paying attention a lot, mostly more onto the 12-volt high power port, the whole equalizer. If you guys haven't heard, it's supposed to distribute the power evenly. And it sounds like Corsair has something up their sleeve as well, as they're coming out with a pretty much a way to monitor your 12-volt high power port to see if it's pushing out the power correctly. But thank you for sharing this. It's awesome. It's great that you're sharing with the PC community up for this. Where I live, we have a group of friends that have coffee hour together. That's why I was not in the chat. That's all right. There is no rush to get into the chat. As you know, we're always here. Man, I'm happy that PSU didn't go up at this point. Remember, there was a rumor that the AIO, yes, and never did, thank God. And a lot of it had to do with more of the metals. It had to do more with like copper and the pricing of even like PC cases. They were supposed to like go up like crazy traumatic, but they haven't. Luckily, they have not. They went up like temporarily, like maybe for a couple days, but that was it. Then it went right back to normal. And you take a look at the Corsair Vengeance, like the 64 gigabyte kit right here is still $1,000. But you know, the crazy thing is you can just buy 2 of these if they let you. You can get the CL30 kits and you can spend roughly about what's that? Like about $840. So you would technically get it cheaper if you just bought 4 sticks. You're paying for the module. That's what it is. You're paying for the 32 gigabytes stick of RAM practically. Yeah, that I am looking forward to. I that's another thing I've been asked this to reach MSI on the safeguard. It's pretty dope technology. I saw how it works at MSI during CS 2026. They had an awesome showing on it. How it lets you know if the temperatures if it gets too hot. What it will do is it'll have like a beep, almost like an alarm sound, and then it'll give you 60 seconds to kind of fix the voltages if you can. If it can't, it will just automatically shut off to try to prevent any damage. So I love the WireView Pro 2. Forced me to buy a new cable, but saved my butt. Oh, really? That's something I've been really interested in too. I think it's quite a nifty invention here. So my 9070 XT was idling at 45 degrees Celsius. I checked into it and my fans weren't running at all. So I turned them on, but it's kind of amazing that had the 3 bottom fans was keeping at that temperature. That's actually really cool. That's really cool for a GPU to be able to. That's impressive. Without fans running, that's excellent. So that means you have probably excellent airflow in your case, I bet. It's hard to cool a 9950X 3D. You should see some of the. Okay, sure thing. Let's take a look at Hidden Bull's Discord here. Let me see. Let me go here, right here, on their battle stations. Oh wow, Ernesto, I love that build. That is sick. That's pretty sick. Oh, and is this the one that you tried to cool with the MSI cooler, or is it MSI makes EV? Do they really? They make EV chargers? That's pretty wild. There was there was an internet rumor that Nvidia was going to buy out MSI. Could you imagine if that happened? How terrible that would be. MSI will weather the storm a lot better. I agree. MSI's like underrated, 100% underrated. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to share this with everybody out there. And thanks to Hidden Bull for sharing these wonderful photos. Uh, take a look at this. This is the cooler right here. And man, you can tell those fans are spinning. You can tell they're spinning hard. And that's inside of a mini ITX, is it? It looks like. Did you buy parts for the... Yes, I have everything but the CPU. Everything's ready. Just need the CPU. That's it. ASUS ROG is also coming up with the equalizer GPU. Oh, Havy. Speaking of which, you know what? I'm going to give my guy a call tomorrow. Speaking of which, he actually just got back. He texted me today, and I'll hit him up and see what he says. But I want to get more information for you. I didn't forget. Tony is normal for many GPUs. Oh, let me get to the next. I like that sitting right there in the background. You guys see it? His you got a Radeon GPU just sitting there. Is this GPU the... It looks like a 9070, right? 9070? I'm assuming. I wish Meg Core Liquid S280. I'm really starting to love the 9070 XT. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Like most people that have Nvidia cards that swapped to the 9070 XT are pleasantly surprised on just how well it runs. Oh, yeah, of course. Until it's... That's what I'm saying. Like, unless his case is really cool, then the fans won't kick. It's because a lot of these new GPUs, they have what's called 0 RPM technology. So that's why you won't hear the fans kick on. That is true. So sleek, no RGB external fan to the pump with 2 LCD. I do love the look of it. Man, that is sick. I like how much of a space saver that is too. This is the 97. You know, we got the same GPU too for this upcoming build. That same GPU that he's using for this build is the one that is going to be for the 9950 X3D build. The X3D2 specifically. Hopefully we get our hands on it. I put it in, yeah, in the ITX. Oh, okay. So I did a custom loop. It keeps 5090 at 55 degrees max, but the 9950 X3D will still go. Yes. That sounds wonderful. Still keeps at mid 70s. I think AMD GPUs are going, GPUs next gen are going to be. I agree. I really hope that AMD does surprise us. I think they do. They will. I'll take a look. Here's a perfect comparison right here. He puts it right next to a 2-liter Coke or 2-liter soda. And just look at it. It's like, it's nearly like if you put two of these together, so that means this case is probably roughly about like a 3-liter case then. Maybe. No, less than that. It's like more like 2.5. You can't see. Oh, it zoomed in. I apologize. Right there. So it's like this. Here's the Coke. There it is. I heard from Singapore ASUS suppliers is coming out in the end of April and the first week of May. They said the shipments were delayed, but just find out from you. Sure thing. I'll see what I can find out. Um, since he's specifically in the North American region, he may not have the answer, but I'm sure he may know somebody. He has to know somebody for sure to be able to get the answer for that. Reminds me of the NR200 form factor case. But that is a sick build. Love it. Ernesto, I got to show this one off too. This is pretty sick. Ernesto has this custom water loop. I love the color of it. Love the look of it. It looks like a custom water loop. That's pretty sick. It's crazy how much better the streamer cables make it look too. It does. It looked like at first when I saw it, it looked like a water loop. I was like, oh wow. And then I went to the next one. I was like, oh, that's not a water loop. Because I was thinking that because there's no pump here either. But it looks sick though. I love it. Made from, or is it made from plankton? Because you could do the same thing with plankton. Yeah, it's made from plankton. So let's go over to Micro Center. Back over to Micro Center and take a look at these prices for all those who are curious. So the best pricing right now is again the team group. Thanks to our wonderful chat here, they did bring up that team group has a wonderful sale. Again, $460 for 48 gigabytes. You can look for it at your local Micro Center. Very hard deal to beat. It easily costs $700. Even if you were to attempt to match that up, it's going to cost you quite a bit more. Again, $370 is the next great deal if you're looking for 32 gigabytes of CL30, which is great for any AMD users out there too. My 9070 XT is a XFX Quicksilver. Oh, wow. You know, XFX is a great manufacturer. They were looked upon just like they were pretty much equal like EVGA. XFX was EVGA before EVGA actually went out too. But XFX actually had NVIDIA GPUs at one time, but then they pulled out. So if you're curious about their quality, don't be curious. They're very similar to EVGA. But that is sick though. And if you're curious about the GPU side, but we will get there in a second. But pricing is showing indications of a bit of weakness, which is good. We're starting to see some sort of dropping here, and it's at least it's no more of that BS of them putting up these crazy prices. Now, some of the pricing still is kind of a bit higher. It's still pretty much holding. Like this Crucial Pro kit right here, this white kit that you see here is still roughly about $370. Crucial Pro 64 gigabyte kit is around $650 for 5600 megahertz. Check how much the 5060 Ti's. Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's take a look, Luca. We're gonna take a look at that and see how it looks. SSDs are unforgiving. It's disgusting how expensive it is. It's so disgusting. It makes you sick just looking at it. For the Zotac amp. Okay. So we'll look up Zotac amp. Now this one is the 5080. They must not have it in stock. They must not have it. Let's try and include out of stock. 5090. So they don't even have it at the store, unfortunately. But you know what? Let's try looking at it like this, because sometimes you gotta look for it manually. So we're gonna go ahead, go to graphics cards, and then we'll look for it that way. I noticed this Micro Center is $3,800 to $3,900 for an Astro 5090. Wow. Yeah, that's up there. That is up there. Amp edition. I gotcha. I have two monitors in my front room and they both have 1440p. Should I use a 9070 XT? Though, because it handles it. Yeah, it's going to be able to handle it, no problems. hey, I'm a completely new build. I have a 5080 and I have 4K monitors. It doesn't. Oh, it definitely should. 475. That's not too bad. Let's take a look. We're gonna try the 5060s again. We'll look for them specifically. And let's see. You want to look for Zotac. What makes you want the Amp Extreme out of curiosity? They have 5. And let's see. The Amp Extreme. They have the Twin. Twin. It's all Twin. TI Twin. Yeah. And this is including out of stock. But it looks like they don't have it. Not at this store. In UK, it's 480. Okay, so it's 480 quid. I have ASUS Tough RTX 4070 for 250 USD a while ago. That's not bad. I didn't check my voice text. I used a 9070 XT for 1440p. Stress about the 5080 I play in 4K. It does a good job, but yeah, that's normal though. Like with all graphics cards, you still have to tweak settings. So the RTX 5060 Ti, you only need to, yeah, you don't really need much. Some of them, they had some that were like the Cyclops editions where they only have one fan. What's 480 quid to USD? I'll tell you right now. Let me see. That is roughly. Appreciate you following. I will tell you in just a second here. And $651. 651 USD. That's how much it is. So that it's kind of high. That's kind of expensive actually. But that's one of their more higher tier cards as well. Check ship to store to see what isn't all. Yeah, that's true. Let's try this. Let me see. Ship to store. Availability, show items in stock. I usually do include out of stock. And let me go down here. Let me go back. Let's see what they have in stock real quick first. Sometimes it's, I agree. I know what you mean. You just want to play. Am I the only one that likes turning their GPU fans even if it's... What do you guys think? Do you prefer to have your GPU fans up more louder? And let me see. I'm gonna throw out a poll for everybody out there. And the poll is, do you like to tune up your GPU fans? So go ahead, you can take a vote right here. Do you like to tune up your GPU fans? The ASUS 5060 Ti here is 540. Really? Or 730. Yeah, that's crazy. So it's definitely much more expensive. Whatever it takes to cool my $900 GPU. So you get a bit of a 50-50 mix here. So you have some that love it, some that don't like it. Now this is what Jerry says here. He likes to tune up his fan. So always run your GPUs on the lowest power settings. I go for silent running. Yeah, because a lot of the GPUs out there, they do have a BIOS on there that you can set it. So you could either set it to performance or you could set it to silent. Some people like to set it to performance, some people like to set it to silent, or some people don't even really bother touching it at all. But usually they're the dual BIOS GPUs out there. Like for example, the GeForce RTX 5070 Ti Gigabytes Gaming Overclock has a switch for both. Usually ASUS has a switch for both. I believe MSI usually does. Try to find the best GPU in the UK, brand new for under, let's say, for in the UK, that's going to be a little bit tough. I'm not an expert in finding your major store over in the UK. Which store do you usually use? Out of curiosity, when you do go shopping, because I think the one I heard, it was a very specific store. Was it Myers? It was something like that. But if you're like me, you like to learn how to repair the fans due to full speed, long time, can affect lifespans on the fan. You know, one of the biggest thing is most people they don't like to clean the fans. Two best is set best is set to auto. Old saying it's cheap to replace your GPU fans than the whole GPU itself. I'd rather keep the GPU fan curve stock as I believe the engineers who built them in the first place know what they're doing. Very true. Um, it's funny. A lot of people will like to tweak it just because they feel like they want to cool it more. So fans for GPUs are like $20. Depends, right? Unless you get the Lean Lee one. I'm not Lean Lee. Unless you get the Noctua version, right? I'm sure there's people out there that's attempted it. That's swapped out like with like a tried to get the most silent. So we got a 50-50 mix here. That's quite interesting. So we have a mix of people that like to turn on the fans, and you have a mix of people that don't like. What's up, Weenie? Great to see you. Man, we were looking for you. Yeah, we're just talking about the fan. So Weenie, for your GPU, do you like to turn up the fan? Or he's one of our wonderful, esteemed, hardcore tech guys here. RTX 5080 Zotac Solid. Check Overclockers UK online computer parts shop. Okay. Overclockers UK. And what was the price that you wanted to try to find the cheapest? Like what was the minimum under what was the price? 450 or 500? Yes, the 5070, yes. 490. Okay, 490. Gotcha. What's up, Pi8? Max. 490 max. Overclockers net. You know, another website we can actually check out is I'm going to check out a couple. We're going to go PC Parts Picker and see if we can find it there. See if we can. We're going to multitask here. So we're going to look up video cards and we're going to look 5060 Ti. And let's see if I'm not mistaken, I believe we can. No, they don't. For some reason, I thought that they had more of a national list. I guess they do not. So we'll go Overclockers UK. Do not get the 5060 Ti. Yes, agreed. Micro Center Miami. Yes, that is the best place to go. Because that's the Micro Center I go to. I noticed on Crimson Desert, if I have the fans set to auto, my Sapphire Nitro 7900 XCX, it does affect stability, really. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, check out NVIDIA GPUs. And see if we can find a decent priced one here. Sorting by low to high. I doubt you're going to find a 5060 for that price, right? Let's go ahead. Hidden Pool and Weenie are... I went to Micro Center and it was full of GPUs, 5070s, 5080s, no Founders Editions. Oh, you know, the Founders Editions are always hard to get. They're the toughest, for sure. My fans are, all of them are programmed to be on all the time, but when I gain the temps go up. Okay. There you go. Yeah, you know what? That's perfect. You know, I feel like I do this pretty much the same thing. Like once I hit a certain temperature, I don't like it going above like 75, I think, and I just ramp it up to 100%. I just had a lot of fun building my PCs. But honestly, everything with my 4070, I can play with 4K with a little tweaking. And it can be done. It's because a lot of people, they'll kind of set it and forget it. Pretty much set it to a certain resolution and certain type of textures or whatever. They let the game pick out for them, but they never truly adjust the settings. NVIDIA, AMD, if you go into their Adrenaline Center or you go to NVIDIA's app, you can actually go in there and NVIDIA actually will find the best settings for your PC. But of course, they're always adjustable. You don't have to just go off of the settings that they recommend for you. So you have an aggressive fan curve. I like that. Hey, it's better to have a cool PC than have one burn up, right? You don't want to end up on Reddit, right? Steven Anderson says $500 is good for a 16 gigabyte. So the cheapest, under 490. So under 490, you can't. They have Gainward, PNY. Let's see. They have the game. Okay, so lots of game words. Inno3D. It's funny. You guys got some stuff that we don't usually have here in the US, like the Inno3Ds, or we get game word, but you don't really see much of them here. Of course, they got the TI Twin. That one's over. I was gonna say that's a decent card actually. Eagle, what? How's that make sense? How's the Eagle more? I guess because it's max overclock. Usually the Eagle should be cheaper than the gaming overclock. My fan curves are like how Weenie gets. When he says Sweeney, just shoots. That's funny. No, you're all good. Zotac is just in my budget and available there. Oh, okay. That makes sense. What type of games do you play, Lucas? Just out of curiosity. So I'm replacing my GPU thermal paste and pads for thermal gel putty. Awesome. I Game word and PMY. Eno are exotic. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, the absolute like Eno, like you never see that here. Eagles are more expensive oh really? Eagles are the funny thing is here the Eagles are usually the cheaper ones. Of course, Horus is like always the top line, the more expensive line. I'm hoping to play some newer games on 1440. Okay, so I'm assuming you want to play something like are you into like Desert Crimson? Like you want to play Desert Crimson or Resident Evil? Um or what else? They got quite a few. How about Pragmata? How's everybody think of Pragmata? Real quick. That was quite the controversy too, which I want to share with you guys. If you get, I'll set the poll since it's 50-50 mix here. I mainly played Grand Theft Auto Online Enhanced. Oh, so if that's the case, if you play mostly Grand Theft Auto Online, then honestly the 5060 Ti is fine then. So I prefer the Nitro Plus, but everyone likes different settings. I'm interested in Arc Raiders. Okay, so Arc Raiders. No, Pragmata releases on for Friday. This upcoming Friday, if anyone wants to play it. Yes, you can purchase it. What's up, Tark? Tariq? Coming 17th of April 26th. The game plans to unlock approximately 1 day. Yes. Not that long. That's true. 4070 is a great option, actually. For 4070 Super, especially, if you get your hands on 4070 Super, that's a good idea. I don't see RAM prices dropped or maybe... it just depends where you're looking. Let me switch over to Micro Center real quick. So, if you look at the RAM, I'll get back to the GPU side real quick after. If you look onto the PC parts and you go to memory here, and then you go to DDR5, which is the majority, the best deal that they currently have is the $370. And this is CL30. Again, the usual price for a kit like this is usually about $425 or more. It's usually a bit more because CL36 is like $425. So it has dropped. Not as much as most people would like. I think it does too. I think it looks really good. What threw it off, which I want to share with you in a bit, is the whole shaders. Not the shaders, but the shadows. Like if you look at which I'll show you in a bit. What is the popular game that people are having trouble playing? Let me see. The current game that people were having probably Crimson Desert at first, but then they ended up fixing a lot of the issues, I think. Monster Hunters was a big problem for a while, but I believe they fixed it now. If your Resident Evil 9 had problems with the 7800 XT, oh really? The micro stutters were so bad. Really, it was that terrible. The 4070 Ti Super is extinct. Yes. You know, the crazy thing is, you would think those cards would be something that would be a lot easier to get, especially now, but it's crazy. It shows that the 40 series was actually a decent series to actually get your hands on. I get the 9070 XT to get until prices drop, but it works good. I'm not anxious to spend anymore. So Cyberpunk on 4K with path and ray tracing with everything on max. Well, that's a true challenge here. Real quick, I'll show you what I wanted to show you guys too, which was Pragmata here. I found this a bit interesting. And where's it at? Right here. So take a look at this, right? And if you notice, take a look. One is with RTX off. That's how it looks with RTX off, right? I can make it bigger, but it's probably gonna mess up the whole ratio side. But that's what it looks like, RTX off, right? And then if you turn RTX on, it looks like this. You see the difference? Let me go on his page actually, and then we can get a much more clearer view. Did I tell you 2.8 C at 3600 CL is $100 used in the UK? Really? That's crazy. Yes, I remember you did tell me this. So is it all about gaming now? I mean, 10 PC YouTube channels, it is about gaming. About which thing? What are you trying to look for a specific answer? All 40 series are not being sold. Let me see. So you take a look. Well, I'm gonna try to enlarge this so you guys can see it better. Hopefully it does it. There you go. Look at that. So take a look at that real quick, guys. See what I mean? So the one like this is RTX off. Let me pause it. This is without RTX, without path tracing right now. This is how it looks without path tracing. Okay, pay close attention. You see everything? You see how this room is? Okay. Now remember, now I'm going to put path tracing on. That's how it looks. You see the major difference and change here? So do you think this is overkill? Do you think that's a bit overkill for path tracing there? Yeah, I agree, right? It looks a bit blurrier. I noticed that the shadows are pretty much all gone. He show Oh really? Did he really, Wasabi? That's wild. That is wild. Yeah. Oh man. You must be really have you got to go back to the gym too, Wasabi? I remember you said you were gonna give it a shot this week. Like I said, it's okay deal. I can tell a big difference, but on the 7000 series, so I won't be using ray tracing or patch. It makes, yeah. I mean, there's not really a need for it. But no, I did not. The 5080 PMY inside the box. But that is funny. A 5080 Astral. That is insane. Look at the table. What's at the table? If I've basically got 45. Yeah, nice. Is it NVIDIA versus AMD versus Intel? Um, what's about NVIDIA versus AMD versus Intel? If you're video editing, I definitely wouldn't recommend. Yes, do not do that. That would be rough. Now, especially if you're users of DaVinci, you definitely want to have a bit more space. So went this morning. After I woke up, I puked. Oh, poor wasabi. Every time I stop for a long time, I go back to training. I always puke acid. Oh, that's rough. That is rough. Everyone wish Wasabi luck for the next turn when he goes to the gym here. What about a card with 16 gigabytes of VRAM but no RAM? I mean, yeah, that's fine. So what are you trying to do with the card here, Tariq? You have to be kind of clear. What are you looking to do? I wish you could buy me the GPU in America and ship it to the UK. It would be cheaper for me. Yeah, I'm sure it would be. Many newer games use more than 8 gigabytes. Yes, that is true. Here goes another example of patch tracing here. Now you can tell me your thoughts, how you like it, how you like the idea of patch tracing. Here, I'll make it big for you guys too. So you got patch tracing without patch tracing. Let me shut that off before YouTube gets me for that. That's without patch tracing and with patch tracing. And this is without patch tracing and with patch tracing. I have a 7600 XT 16 gigabytes. 16 gigabyte card for gaming, but not NVIDIA. What is that AMD? I'm assuming an AMD card you have. Can we see AMD card in gaming here? The AMD card, you want to see it in game? I have a bunch of videos on that. Are you thinking, are you trying, so you want the AMD card for gaming? That's what you're looking for. I'm all about natural rasterization. So my main point for me then, if it performs well, that any ray tracing and patch tracing aren't too much more expensive, I'd say go for it. That is true. Definitely a great option for those who are looking for a bit more. Um, Not if you declared it. Yeah, that's the scary part. That's only if it goes through customs, because customs could definitely confiscate it. I always thought about that, especially for like Brazil. You know, like especially Brazil. You think you pay more money? Brazil's like the worst place, like to get PC parts. So okay, so is the 5060 Ti 16 gigabyte Zotac amp my best? Yes, from what it seems like, yes, definitely the best option. Definitely go for it. Go for the 5060 Ti Amped Extreme if you want to get that. If you could get your hands on a 4080, honestly, that would be even better if you can. What's up, Pixel? And yes, FSR4 is awesome. It is beautiful. I'm excited to see how much more further we can get out of AMD here. Get the 3060 12 gigabyte on a very low budget. Yeah, yes, if you're trying to cut low, a 3060 is like a true 3060 now. Last time I say my mobile plan. Oh no, that's terrible. It comes with a 5-year warranty. So to add more VRAM, you need to reprogram the BIOS and move SSD. Oh, is that what you're trying to do, Hannibal? Let me see. I'm setting myself a hard budget of $300 for my GPU. That's the maximum I'll probably go. Okay, so the max you'll spend is $300. And then you're debating whether to get the 2080 Super or an ARC B580. Okay, so you have those two options. Now, depending, again, please remind me what you're gaming on. Is it for 1080p? If that's the case, you're probably going to be fine on 2080 or be 580. Especially if you're not playing a game that's like super competitive. Zotac has really stepped up their game. If we're talking about 3000 series or under, I would say get a different brand. Yes, if Zotac has been quite impressive, I gotta say. Like testing out their 5070 was actually much better than I thought. The benchmarks were really good actually. Right now, if you can get a 9070 XT for $700 or less, buy it. If you're building the PC, I really believe that card is the best option if you're trying to save a little money but want a great PC. Yes. But the biggest thing is don't expect to run at ultra wide settings or anything crazy or running in 4K. Otherwise, you'll be disappointed if that's the case. If you're running 1080p, it'll work great. Just as others mentioned, even if you get a 4060 Ti or even the 3060, the 3060 was the last true like 3060. Then it became progressively worse when it came to each generation. Once they hit the 4000 series, then it got questionable. You start to ask, is this really a 4060? It turned more like a 4050. And then as the 50 series came out, pretty much the same concept. You start to question it if it was truly a 5060. But that was like the biggest thing. That's why I never liked the whole 5060 side of it. And if anyone was to get a card, and if you really wanted to get NVIDIA, I usually suggest a 5070 Ti. But if you're on a strict budget, I get it. 5060 Ti can work perfectly fine too. I want to do 1440p medium settings, and I have my eyes on Intel Arc 580 because at 12 gigabytes of VRAM and the streaming encoder is amazing. You can find $250 to $300 and the drivers are fixed now. Are you also going to run it on, are you going to try to run it on Linux out of curiosity? I don't know if there's like many people that's actually done that. I'll be modding my RTX 4070 to 20. That's going to be pretty interesting. Yes, exactly. The cards got worse and the price got worse. Exactly, and that's the problem here. I'll be modding my RTX 4070. Yes. Please, I would love to see that project. If you're going to switch over to Linux, save yourself some headaches and get an E. And that's the thing. If you go to Linux, you're going to want AMD. AMD is like the way to go. Weenie can definitely tell you. AMD has been amazing. Like you could go full Linux and have a full out gaming rig on Linux with AMD cards, and you'll be pretty much happy. You'll be stoked for it. I do like a dual BIOS on my GPU. Yeah, definitely the better options, especially for those. Do you guys remember like when it came to the 9070, you could kind of flash the 9070 to act as a 9070 XT? But the trick was you needed to have a dual BIOS because if you didn't have a dual BIOS, you would risk damaging the BIOS because of it. So it was always recommended to have a dual BIOS if you were to attempt it. Linux, yeah, it's very picky. There's not like they don't really have many kernels for yes, and that's a problem. They don't have the what's the word? They don't have the source code for it. I'm planning on pairing the 5600X and the 32 gigabyte DDR4 3200 megahertz and 1 terabyte NVMe SS Gen 3. I'm not using Linux. If honestly, if I were you, I would Pixel. I'd go to Windows 10. You're going to face a lot of headaches if you go to Windows 11. To be honest, go to Windows 10. You'll be much more happier. Yeah, I know. Most people don't want to even stay on Windows anymore because of it. Yeah, I know. I know it's the end, but it's definitely at least it works, you know. It's pretty bad when I recommend Windows 10 over 11, even though I know it's not end of life. So that's all. Of course, it'll run great. It'll definitely run great on it. We don't do illegal things here in this chat, right, guys? Wink, wink. But so anyway, um, yeah. So Windows 10 is definitely I would recommend for a build like that. Lots of people do. Right? Right, right, Weenie? If you're going to use Linux AMD, it's the way to go. I myself am a Linux Mint Cinnamon, and we play Resident Evil 9 on 9070X. Yeah. I mean, it works great. It really does. Yes, true. Well, the Pixel. Let me just explain something real quick. If you're worried about the driver support that you have, it doesn't matter anyway. It doesn't matter as much when you're on everything you have, to be honest. Yeah. Full price too, I bet. $250. Remember when I don't know if you guys remember when Windows was thinking of going subscription based? Can you imagine how bad that would be? You had to pay each month for Windows. Yeah, that's a good question. Does anybody here use Wi-Fi over Ethernet? That's a good question. Egyptian. I gotcha. How was it? Did it work out well? Mint or Bazite? Between the two? That's a tough choice. That is a tough choice. Bazite's a lot of fun though. Mint, of course, is like more Linux, but definitely fun too. Great for anyone to start with Linux. I mean, Mint. Hidden pull. I was into cybersecurity for 20 years. Ugh. Yes, that's the biggest problem. I'll tell you that. Definitely, I agree with you. That is the biggest issue. My specs will be a 650 GQ80 plus KCIT level 5 micro mesh black MSI B550 Pro non Wi-Fi Ryzen 7 5800X AIO thermal rate frozen not 240 black V2 SSDs. This is pretty nice. That's a nice setup. Barracuda hard drive. Congratulations on it. I think I'd rather stick Windows 11 because that's what I currently have right now with my Optiplex. But if I ever want to get a higher end performance, I do have a full platform upgrade. Okay. And even if I didn't have to, I got a new power supply and my CPU. Gotcha. Yes, and that's the thing. That's the thing, Weenie. Mint is more Linux, but Bazite is more is fun. Bazite's more fun. I use Wi-Fi has weak points for attacks too. How about that's why I always suggest getting a VPN. Like if anytime you use Wi-Fi, especially in a public area, use a VPN. Have to. You have I just too too many things. Let's go back to Micro Center, guys. We got to see how the GPU pricing is. We haven't checked it yet. I'm really curious to see how it's looking now. Let's see PC parts. We're gonna go to GPUs here. No, no, it's definitely a decent build. Definitely a very good way to go. Okay, so we're gonna look at the 5000 series first. And to get an indication of just how bad things really are, we could start off with the 5090. And the 5090 Tough is $3,349. So it's still over $3,000. It's even $3,349. I have an i7 7700 with the GTX 1650 and 500 gigabytes SSD. Data cable cracked, so I had to line up all the pins. Oh, yeah, that's sketchy. Does your new Oris Master have where it tells you where the best place? I don't think it has it, but usually I just, since they're magnetic, I usually always stick it on the top anyway. Give it kind of like a shark look. I don't know if you guys see it. No, it's not sticking up there, but usually I'll stick it up onto the top of the case. So if anyone uses antenna, it's usually better to set it higher. And even like if you have Wi-Fi router, if you can, try to set it as high as you can. Some people will place it on the floor, or some people will place it somewhere where it's not like noticeable, right? But honestly, the best thing you can do is like set it in the highest place you can possible. If you can put it on the ceiling, put it on the ceiling. So the 5090 is king though, and you pay for yeah. Yeah. Even if it's the tough edition. The RTX 5090 ROG Astral is $4,000. It's crazy because when you think about it, that PC build we just did is more closer to around like the about $2,900, about $3,000. And this GPU is still $1,000 more. I have a 27-inch 1440p VA 180 hertz, and my 165 hertz 1080p IPS will well, it'll run fine. Now I don't know how good it's going. Well, you're running 2560 by 1440. It should run decent. And you're playing GTA Online. Mostly GTA Enhanced Online, so yeah, you'll be fine. All it takes is with the VPN is a middleman attack. Just giving you some. Yeah. That's what. But how likely is that? Is the real question. Testing out this feature, if it tells you to rotate your Wi-Fi antenna and then tells you, oh, you know what? You just reminded me on Gigabyte Control Center. I believe it does. It does let you know that. Ah, I'm envious. For anyone that has anything other than Comcast, I am envious. Especially for I miss Verizon. I miss it dearly. I miss having fiber optic internet. Is there any product or software that will help me reduce VRAM load? I use mods in Skyrim. Yeah, you can download you can download RAM. You can download VRAM. You go into NVIDIA or AMD's website and you can download it. No, but seriously, the best thing you can do is just you have to change settings, really. You just have to use like just drop the settings on Skyrim a bit. That's the best way you could reduce VRAM load. And definitely don't have any like Chrome browsers in the background. Yes. Yes. It's a very good thing that they're adding it. I got rid of Gigabyte Control Center and Windows Event. Ah, yes. The wonderful Gigabyte Control Center. Usually a lot of them are a bit sketchy. Like when it comes to their software, I don't care which brand it is, but they're all not the best when it comes to their actual control center. Whether it's Armored Crates, or MSI's Mystic Center or Mystic Light, they're all a bit sketchy when you use them. Up to 11 gigabytes. That's pretty wild. What's up, Destiny? Oh, congratulations. That's awesome. Enjoy it. But yeah, hopefully you get the job you're looking for. I Comcast in California, moved to Washington, and then had Spectrum. Moved to a new house and now have 5G. Ah, so envious. You know, Comcast still caps my internet. It's embarrassing because I can only use up to, I think I can only download to 2 terabytes. Yeah, like 2 terabytes. If I do anything more than 2 terabytes, then Comcast will try to charge me for it. Everything's great besides the pricing of SSDs. GPUs are still pretty up there in pricing. As you can see, it's still expensive. Good thing is the RAM has started to indicate some price dropping, at least. There's some weakness in it. Yeah, it's sad. It's very, it's terrible. It should be illegal. That's what it should be. Oh, AT&T does that too, really? AT&T Fiber does that? I was hoping for AT&T Fiber because that's like what's building around here mostly. Oh, that's awesome. How fast is it? How fast is the fiber optic there? So you can only download one. Well, I'm so limited, so if I download a bunch of games, like I can only download like up to, I have to really watch it. Like if I have to look at the game file to see how large it is. If it's 150 gigabytes, I have to count it towards those 2 terabyte limits. And I use 9 terabytes per month, but I play for, it's so easy. Like people think like, how can you get hit 9 terabytes of internet? But it can be really easy. Like if you consistently download things, it will hit it with no issue. And that's why I miss Verizon. Absolutely miss Verizon on this side. Because there is no data caps. CSGO, I just got this little tower from Nice. Yeah, exactly. And uploading to YouTube does things too. Absolutely agreed. There's times where I had to pay the extra data. I think Comcast, how do they charge it again? I think once you go over to 2 terabytes, they charge, I think $10 per 100 gigabytes you use after. It's something ridiculous like that. So can you imagine if you're over 2 terabytes already, and then if you hit 100 gigabytes again over it, you get charged $10 for it. Yes. Oh, that's the worst. I have 4 computers and about 4 terabytes. It's, yeah. And that makes perfect sense. Anybody getting into, yes, get the CEH license. Thank you for sharing this. I'm sure somebody will find that in handy. Especially our wonderful Twitch viewers over there. I do have to download my games while I'm sleeping. You know, one of the greatest features that we do have, especially if you have multiple PCs, or if you have a handheld, even like a PC handheld, is that when you do download the games, you can actually share the game from another PC. You can actually LAN share it, so that way you don't have to use as much data. A lot of times, the LAN sharing doesn't work as well, especially if you're not hooked up physically to the same router and that you're relying on Wi-Fi. Sometimes it'll drop and it'll still download bits and pieces of the game from Steam server. So, but it can save some internet if anyone does have issues when it comes to data caps. So I do have to I have to download my games while I'm sleeping. That's when it's the fastest. True. Especially for those who are still on a cable network here. I believe it's 2 terabytes. It has to be 2 terabytes download, I think. I don't think necessarily upload. Maybe I think they're two separate entities. Yes. And that's what I was just sharing. Destiny brought this up actually. A great tool to use if you use Steam sharing. So if you're close to cap and you have to carry your PC, yes, yes. I have to. Good thing that they're. I know, I know for a fact, our wonderful Zushi, our wonderful Zushi Kate would say, That it's not good to download from the internet cafe like Starbucks. 70, so you're running 7800 X3D 9070 and you're running high settings at 1440p. Very possible. Could happen. So my system at home is Ethernet to a router, then Ethernet from the router, once one to second router in my room, and then Ethernet from my second router in my room to my PC. Um, I would say you don't need a second router. Just go ahead and just get a wire long enough from the original router. You'll be fine. Starlink, I was really, honestly, I was really curious about that, Starlink. Has anybody actually looked into that stuff, Starlink? You know, let's look at it real quick. Out of curiosity, Starlink. We should be able to charge for our M.2 storage when we buy game. Oh, how is it? How is it, Hidden Wolf? And Blue Peak Fiber. If you're friends with the neighborhood, you can use their Wi-Fi if it's in range. Oh, that's interesting. Starlink. How fast is it? Let's see. Residential. Let's just go residential here. Oh wait, here it is. So 200 megabits per second is $80 a month. And you get great Wi-Fi. And you get residential max, which is $120 a month. But it doesn't quite tell you the speed. What is residential max? What's the maximum speed you can get? I'm about to try Starlink for FPS gaming. And yeah, let me know. I'm really curious. As a cybersecurity student, I've learned 80% of stolen data happens when a junior employee connects to an insecure network. Such yes, that's why I said. That's why I was saying. Zushi Kate said would definitely not be happy if you hook up to the internet to download. Try to download a game. My cousin lives in a real rural area, and it takes a day to download a game. Starlink will be faster for him, but he doesn't want to pay the deposit. That makes sense. You know, I just gotta just be patient because it's gonna be in the area for sure. They already have all the ground marked pretty much for it. I just gotta move, or either that, or I just move a bit more south, and I'll definitely have it. Of course, Comcast has the exclusivity in this area, so it doesn't expire till I think 2 years from now. So I would have to wait 2 years until their exclusivity expires, so that way I can have fiber optics, which is ridiculous. It's crazy how that's legal. You would think that'd be something like that would be illegal. So I have the mobile version that I use with my RV. It works great and it gets fast. Oh, really? You know what's crazy? Like, I measured the speed of 5G with Verizon and with Google Fi just to get an idea like how fast it is. And Google Fi is based off the T-Mobile network anyway. So I went to go test it when I went to do the Micro Center stream, and when I went to go test it, Verizon was getting really amazing numbers. Like you could get almost like 1.4 gigabits per second, which was incredible for upload, and then even I mean for download and for upload, it was even faster than what I use now, which was it was pushing like 600 or 700 megabits per second. I think so too. Fortunately, I paid $500 for the M.2 5 Gen. When I buy Steam games, I should charge them for. You know, it's like it's funny. I with the backup of games, I've learned just to put everything into my storage drive now. So that's what I've been doing is like throwing everything into the storage drive. If I delete the game off of the actual physical drive, so that way I can make sure to download it that way. Residential max plans is up to 260 megabits per second. Yeah, I think a lot of people are curious. The problem is getting a clear view. It does work good. Word of advice for nerds that are thinking of moving or buying a new house: check what internet company speeds. Yes. That's what I've learned to do now too. Maybe because I was so used to having fiber before, I thought it would be a non-issue. But to find out that even being in South Florida, that you would think that they would have it in every area. Of course, I picked a neighborhood where the pocket is Comcast, pretty much owned by Comcast till the next couple of years. I don't know if I'm excited or extremely worried for myself as I'm turning 18 on. Oh, congratulations. You should be pretty happy, I would think. I was also thinking 3070 Ti. Great choice. Yeah, it's crazy quick. 5G on my phone is slower. Oh, really? They are scalping me for fast fiber. Oh, terrible. Time to riot in South Florida. Yes. But I mean it's in other areas. It's just this specific neighborhood I'm in, which sucks. But I use it so whatever. But I live in a rural area, not in a big city. I get it. I'm paying $110 for my 5 gigabit fiber. That's pretty good though. And you get download and upload speeds for at least 5 gigabits, right? So the main problem is I'm having with Rift, I'm having enhanced blood textures and dynamic impact slash effects that stutters. Oh, so you're getting stuttering. Do you know if the 3070 Ti is good to pair with the? Yeah, absolutely. Same, pretty much like similar generation. So yeah, it would work great. Uh, but again, it's like yeah, if you, I highly suggest getting fiber. Try to stay away from any type of cable company like Comcast. And let's see, I'm really curious to see what 5090s they even, if they still had the same 5090s in stock here. Let's see. I think I'm going way past it. I think we're on the 5090 section as it is already. Top deals. Out of curiosity, let's see what their top deals is according to them. Gigabytes NVIDIA's RTX 5090 gaming overclock for 3700s. And then the Asus NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5080 Prime for 15. So they really haven't really budged that much in pricing. But it looks like they do offer a game now. If you get an RTX card, you get Pragmata. You get Pragmata if you get RTX card. Definitely worth it because upload. Yes, it's great for that. I'm very limited in multi-streaming, so I only stream on YouTube and Twitch because of it. Usually, I would try to Twitch like the 4 places if I can. How much does everyone pay for internet? For me, I pay really cheap. My internet's only like $60 a month. That's it. But again, look how much I got to go through though, too, on top of it. If you do get fiber, make sure you're not bottlenecked on the end. Like, yes. That I'm not worried about. I have a great router, luckily. I paid $500. Dude, there's a couple of that. Oh, that's terrible. 2 gigabits about 90. That's the better deal, to be honest. 2 gigabits for $90 a month. The only 90 class card I can possibly afford is the Titan. 30. So you can afford a 30. Go 3090. Yeah, 25. Yes. I mean, it was like overstocked as it was already. So Lucas says, what do you think of the thermal rate frozen? I think I think it looks great. I think it's a great cooler. My motherboard is only 1 gigabit, so unless I got a PCI Express Ethernet adapter, I wouldn't do me any good to upgrade to 2 gigabits. Makes sense. I would get a hard drive to store games. Yeah, That's definitely the best thing. Like, get a hard drive too. Like, I use it as a pretty much like a network attached system. So anytime I need to do testing, I do a PC rig, have to run some tests. I will end up uploading it to that hard drive because I'll know to use it later. And unfortunately, take a look at this. If I get another portable drive, because I was tempted to do this, get a 4 terabyte SSD that's external. They're expensive now. It's crazy expensive. Oh, anybody looking for a DGX Spark here? It's only roughly 4,400 and $99. But if you're looking to get an external drive, it's $570 to get 4 terabytes now. I should have got it a minute ago. I should have got it a while ago because now it's $400, $500, $400 for a 4 terabyte drive. This new motherboard I'm testing has 5 gigabit Ethernet ports, so I'm happy because I'm not battle. Yes, absolutely, you're not. And you know, one of the most underrated things is to actually get a decent Ethernet adapter. Like if you have a motherboard and you want the full maximum potential, you actually get an Ethernet. You actually get an Ethernet adapter for your PC, and because a lot of the PCs or a lot of motherboards they come with the Realtek's Ethernet, and that's usually a bit slower. Let's see, not adapter. I should look up. It should fall under PCI Express. It's an adapter, but I guess they want to call it something else. And like for example, you could get a 10 gigabit one by ASUS here for $100 if you want to get a full 10 gigabits. But again, you'll pay for it, but you get actual decent internet connection off of it too. I get an external hard drive back when I don't trust them. I get it. I do get it because sometimes they do have issues. You know, I use the same thing. I use Cat 8 too. Factor that price into the motherboard. The yes, if I mean they have some decent ones here. They got this one. This one is 1 gigabit, only $1. You see that? It's only $1 for that one. But again, you're maxing out. TP Link, I would not get. I mean, look at the stores here. Let's see what the rating says. Let's see what they say here. Really fast Ethernet can make it to where you don't have to put big hard $1 from Malware. Exactly. That's a good point. Take a look here. Let's look at what they say. Works amazing. Definitely recommend. One person doesn't like it because it doesn't work with pfSense. Brought this strictly for use of pfSense. Heads up. You're going to use only Intel base NICs, which I thought this was NIC. Bad setup instructions. Spent hours how to get this to work with no. Do not buy. Bought this card. A lot of 1 stars. Bought this card and nothing but headaches. This card cannot do a simple speed. Can't run a simple speed test. And I've gone to multiple Reddit posts, and this card is known to drop connection with every latest driver. So you gave the quality of product and value of product of 1. Oh man. Yeah, so definitely stay away from this one. Yeah, that sounds sketchy. And this is probably one person. You have one person that rated this card. One person rated it. Well, 4. You got 4. Better than a $15 card. Well, I also bought a $15 TP-Link Gigabit PCI Express because I was not sure that I could trust a dollar card. It turns out they both use the same single chip, the NIC. And the cheaper card, which has 2 status LEDs, one for connection valid and one for 1 gigabit speed. That's pretty wild. That is wild. They actually recommend this card. Can't go wrong with 99 cents. Yes, exactly. Oh, really? Dumb worse for $1. Don't want to question that. All right, fan bam, guys, I thank everybody for coming into the stream. Make sure to join in on this upcoming Saturday as we stream starting at 10 o'clock for the members and 10:30 on the public timing. So, fan bam, guys, I really appreciate everybody out there that has joined in on the stream. Hopefully, you guys did certainly enjoy it. I thank Hidden Bull, thank Destiny, thank Weenie. Of course, I got to thank Jerry for being hilarious as always. And Ellis, yes, pretty much. We're like one huge happy fan bam here. Of course, Lucas joined in, and we got to thank Wasabi. We got to thank Ernesto. All of you guys certainly made this stream wonderful. And Mike, and we got to thank all of you guys. Yes. Ground Game. Yes, big shout out to Ground Game. Make sure you get plenty of sleep out there. Sushi, yes, thank you. Show me a 48 gigabyte RAM. Yes, I will. I definitely will. Thank you guys. And of course, if you guys aren't part of Discord, please join in. It would be wonderful to see you guys on there. Thanks so much for watching. Everybody have a great night and see you on Saturday. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Concrete. I appreciate you all. Yes, please hit the like button, guys. Thank you, guys.